Welcome to the Business Like a Mother show, where we share real strategy, radical honesty, and the conversations no one else is having. For moms building businesses on their own terms while burning down the patriarchy, one business at a time. Let's jump in. Hey, Renegades. I'm back. And if this is your first time listening to Business Like a Mother, awesome. And if you were one of the maybe 40 people who listened to my first attempt recording this show back in 2024, thank you for sticking with me and welcome back. It always feels a little odd to be talking into a mic by myself because I am someone who really thrives with people and a live audience. But I'm taking this opportunity to really push myself out of my self-imposed comfort zone and digging into the messiness that comes along with it. So I launched the show a while back, as I said, and it just never really felt right. I am really gifted at starting things, and I often suck with sticking with them. It could be my ADHD, could be perimenopause, maybe it's anxiety and overwhelm and self-doubt, maybe it's motherhood, maybe it's just that it wasn't vibing and I didn't want to do it anymore, and that's okay too. But I'm going to treat this episode as really my first episode, even though you can go back and listen to some of the old ones. There are some good interviews in there. So I recommend that you maybe find one or two that speak to you and give them a listen. But I do want to kind of do this as a reset, as a redo, and share about who I am, why you should tune in, or maybe why you shouldn't, because this might not be your cup of tea, and that's okay too. And why I feel this show and my mission matters right now more than ever. So I'm a mom of two, and I've worn a lot of different hats as a business owner, a social seller, a certified integrative health coach, and a professional stage and commercial actor over the many years. And a strong network was always key for me. And after I had my first daughter in 2017, I quickly realized that a lot of the professional networking groups were not built with moms in mind. I mean, who the hell wants to show up at 7 a.m. to make small talks with, with bad coffee, with dudes in polos, when you got 3 hours of broken sleep and you have sore nipples? Not me, not this mom. So I started a women's networking group in Denver when my oldest was about, I don't know, maybe a year and a half old. And that was going really well. And we were growing. And then COVID hit and we had to press pause. And around the same time, I was pregnant with my second kiddo. She was born in the wild times of September 2020. And about a year later, when things were kind of reopening, I found myself really wanting to get the hell out of the house and reconnect with other humans. But I found myself really craving conversations with fellow moms, but I didn't want a space to talk just about bedtime routines and potty training and preschool. I wanted a place to talk about money and marketing and real talk around how hard it is to build a business while raising babies, of all ages. It doesn't mean it's only hard when you have, babies who aren't sleeping through the night. It just continues. Motherhood is ever present and it's always full of different ups and downs and challenges. So I posted to a local moms group on Facebook, kind of saying hey, are there other moms in business around who want to have a cup of coffee? And that one post, which only got a handful of likes and maybe 2 comments. So it was by no means a viral post and I was an overnight success or any of that kind of bullshit. But it was the beginning of what turned into Renegade Motherhood. So Renegade Motherhood is a grassroots movement and community of moms who are building businesses, building authority, and refusing to do it quietly. And we are committed to burning down the patriarchy one business at a time. And we do this by helping moms in business get visible, get connected, and get paid, and doing it together. Because we understand that a mom with a thriving business isn't just winning for herself, she's winning for every mother who comes after her. Because here's what I know. Moms do business differently. And I believe motherhood is a massively underrated and underappreciated leadership advantage because the skills that motherhood cultivates are not just survival tactics, they're leadership superpowers. Things like radical prioritization, leading through total chaos, doing more with less, making 27 decisions in the morning before you've even had a cup of coffee, deep empathy, and unshakable resilience. And while all that is awesome and these superpowers we have, it's also hard. There are a lot of coaches and influencers and stuff out there and shows, podcasts that I think really gloss over the real implications of building a business with kids. that brings, no matter the ages. They will simply say to outsource more, to get up earlier, stay up later, et cetera, build a big team. And sometimes that maybe does make sense for you. Everyone's going to have a different business model. I'm not here to tell you, honestly, like what you should do for your business. Sometimes hiring makes sense. Sometimes it doesn't. I have brought on help that was not the right kind of help. I brought on help that has been really helpful. So sometimes we do have to do that. We have to prioritize. We have to create boundaries. We have to ask for help. But sometimes that's also easier said than done. And oftentimes our best laid plans just go out the window with one call from a school nurse, with one case of strep that rips through the entire household, with snow days. And, for some of us and some of you listeners, also taking care of our own aging parents and relatives in the midst of raising kids as well. As moms, we carry the mental loads for our households. And as entrepreneurs, we're doing the same thing for our businesses. And we are not meant to mother in a vacuum. And we also are not meant to build businesses in isolation. And yet, here we are, so many of us solopreneuring in isolation, relying on AI chatbots to tell us what to do, and then feeling more and more isolated. So while listening to a podcast is not necessarily going to solve the community issue immediately, right? My hope is that you listen to this and you feel seen, maybe you laugh, and maybe you just realize that you aren't alone if you're feeling like, oh my God, I'm the only mom who does not have this shit figured out. Like, believe me, you are not. I am right there along with you. So a few things to know about me. I've been married for almost 11 years. It'll be 11 years next week. Actually, the day this show goes live, it's the next day, June 12th. And we will be to a very wonderful patient man, Drew. We met on Match.com in New York City. A little bit of an irony there, but it was hard to meet good guys in the big city. And he was born and raised in New York City. He's an only child. I'm a Midwestern middle child. So opposites definitely do attract in that way. I have a dual major in musical theater and public communication from American University. And I worked as a professional stage actor for several years, including a national tour with the Kennedy Center. And yes, I will always refer to it as the Kennedy Center. And I've also performed and continue to work in commercials. I've done a lot of industrial and commercial work for clients like Jackson Hewitt, USPS, Town of Vale, Science Moms, and a lot more. I love musicals. I love singing. I sing regularly in a choir, and I love Stephen Sondheim's scores most of all. I have two daughters who are currently 9 and 5.5, and they're hilarious and they're a lot of work and all the things. But they are my biggest cheerleaders and truly my daily inspiration to keep me going when I just kind of want to burn it all down, because I definitely have days like that. I love a microphone, but I prefer it with an audience. So again, me getting out of my comfort zone. I do love to sing. I love public speaking, and I am more comfortable in front of an audience of 300 than, just me, myself, and I, or a small group of 10 people. So I'm the opposite of a lot of people out there who prefer small groups. I'd much rather have more people. I feel safer that way. And we'll talk more about that in future episodes. I am very good at bringing creative insights to messaging, visibility, and marketing, and community building is my love language. I love bringing people together. I love making introductions. I love just connection. And I also love finding humor in the everyday and helping moms in business show up unapologetically in their professional and personal lives. I love telling stories, and I'm starting to really step into my writer era, starting to write my first book, and which feels very scary and all the things. And there will be other episodes on that for sure. So if anyone out there is thinking about writing a book or starting to write a book, we can go on that journey together. I was diagnosed with ADHD at the age of 40, and it really has helped me better understand myself. I was not surprised. I suspected it, but I had never really done a deep dive into how it can show up differently, especially in women and moms, and it's been fascinating. And I am constantly having to lean into how I work best, and really unsubscribing from all the ways that we should on ourselves. I should be doing this, I should be doing that, and really honing in on how do I want to do things and what feels good to me and what feels like it works for my personality, for my brain, and that feels good and it feels fun. I think a lot of times we start businesses because we want to enjoy our work more, And then we actually start really resenting our business because we're not doing it in a way that we want to be doing it. And that can feel really hard. My house is usually a mess. The title of my autobiography would be Where the Fuck Are My Keys? I do swear, so there will always be a little explicit warning on this podcast episode. So I recommend headphones in the car if you're listening in the carpool lane, potentially, maybe sticking, or just listening to it when your kids aren't around, potentially, if that's a thing for you. Yeah, organization is not my strong suit. I typically have about 45,000 tabs open, a couple dozen sticky notes, and I have maybe, I don't even know, probably 1,000 notes in my iPhone. A lot of my book has been written in my iPhone notes. I have tried all the different organizational systems. Most of them do not stick, and I am just at a point where it's okay. It's okay. And I am incredibly open about my journey as a mom in business. And this is one thing that I think should be talked more about. I am not a New York Times bestselling author yet, right? I have not made $10 million. I have spent money foolishly. I have made some money easily. I have overthought things and gotten in my way more times than I can possibly count. I have built businesses that I am very proud of, and I have built others that I have been really ready to move on from. I am proudly progressive, and I am not afraid to talk about politics on this show. I have been told that I would have a bigger business by someone who used to be part of my life in a different business that I had, that if I kept my ideas to myself, I would have a bigger business. And to that, I say, fuck no. I found a coaster in a store recently that said that, quote, I like to refer to myself as a strong woman that has the vocabulary of a well-educated sailor. And I bought it, and it's on my desk, and I feel very seen every time I read it. I believe that motherhood is radical, and building a business while being a mom is renegade. And I believe we need more trailblazing, bold, and truly heart-centered, powerful moms making more money with their businesses. Because we know when we do that, we do more good with every dollar we earn and spend than men do. Full stop. So my business, my podcast, these are all my personal acts of resistance. Because I know there are more of you out there like me who are looking to have these kind of conversations. I believe in community, but like real, authentic, show up as your actual self, not the version of yourself you think people want you to be kind of community. Talk more about that in future episodes too. Because I think there is a problem where so much of it feels unattainable. So much of it is all about do it, do as I say, right? And even when it doesn't feel good, and making it seem easier than it really is, and making it appear as if something is wrong with you if you are not at a certain place in your business. And I hate that. I icky. I've been part of communities like that. I don't love it. So this show will be a mix of some solos from me about, what's on my mind, things that maybe I'm seeing and maybe personally learning for myself. And also how to really express yourself authentically, because that is something that I am on a journey of and really leaning into in my life and my business and my writing and in this show. And something that I know that many others are really looking to do. And we feel resistance around it. It is easier said than done. There will also be conversation with fellow moms doing some really cool shit and sharing their genius and their journeys and the messy middles. And I will occasionally have guest coaching spots where I'll be featuring entrepreneurial moms who are also working through the ups and downs and talking through it in real time, because I know that sometimes the best learning, the best moments of clarity and light bulb moments come from hearing what's happening in other people's journeys. So you can expect that. And I'll answer questions I'm getting from fellow renegades who are navigating the shitstorm of building a business and being a mom in 2026, because it is a shitstorm out there. So the reality is, as I wrap up this first episode, that I almost didn't relaunch this podcast. Part of me feels like I missed the podcast boat. I had another podcast during COVID that just when I was kind of gearing up, I got into my major perfectionist mode and made it way too much work and sucked all the fun out of it. And stopped doing it. It was for a different audience and everything, so it's okay. But I have to be really mindful about letting this be messy and easy and authentic and not overproducing it. So I think that that's a trap we all fall into, and it sucks the fun out of things that we were excited about. Um, there have been a lot of coaches that have recently decided to step away and stop recording their shows they've had for a long time. The coaching industry is shifting in so many ways. And so it would be really easy for me to look at that and say, screw it and do something else, or not do something else. But, literally as I sat here right before I started to hit record, I'm literally set up, I'm about to hit record, and it starts to thunder outside. So it was like this ominous start, but I'm forging ahead because something has kept me on the hook. And I do believe in this time of AI and everyone just screaming at each other on social media. I really believe that authentic, powerful, and less polished voices are needed more than ever. When I cranked out my first 12 or so episodes a while ago, I will admit that I relied a lot on AI to write scripts for me. I didn't trust my ideas or my voice, and I really thought that I needed a bot to tell me what to say. I played small, and so I'm not surprised that I didn't stick with it because it just from the start never really felt like me. And so I'm not going to sit here and say that I'm never going to use Claude to help me stay organized or generate show notes or possibly topics or questions for guests and stuff like that. Because I think it can be a tool that you can use effectively, but also I do believe you can overuse it, which actually, for me, I noticed when I was doing that, it really stopped my creative process. And I started to doubt myself more, and I started to feel like I didn't have my own words. So I'm really pulling back on that a lot. And while I am reading off of notes that I wrote myself, AI did not touch the script for better or for worse. I am really committed to showing up in my true voice and saying what I feel needs to be said. And I'm not anti-AI again, and that's probably, I'm sure, a topic we will get into in more future episodes because I think it can be a very powerful tool, especially for busy ass moms, juggling all the things for sure. But from a creativity perspective, I could tell with myself I needed to pull back a bit and really show up and allow this to, come from really what I have to say and not what AI is telling me to say. So we'll see how that goes. You're on the journey with me because ultimately I'm knocking on the door of my 45th birthday, which I really can't believe. And I can't spend more time doubting what is mine to say or looking for someone else or technology to tell me what to say. So if you've listened this far, then I really hope you will consider me a virtual mom friend right now, and we'll come back for more. For now, I'm planning to release a new episode every Thursday, and I might sprinkle in some extras if I have them ready. We'll see. No promises, but we'll see. There could be some bonus content here and there. And one last thing, I have no illusions. Podcasts take time to grow and get heard, and there are many out there to listen to that are going to be far better produced and all the things than this one, okay? And I'm not doing this because I want massive sponsorship deals. I mean, I'm not close to it, but I'm also I'm doing this for me to continue to build my own audience. But I do hope that my love of grassroots word of mouth, which is my personal favorite way to market, will help with this. So I'm going to ask for help right out of the gate. If you like this first episode, do me a favor and send the link to another mom who maybe needs to hear it. And thank you for being here. Thanks for listening. And I will see you on the next episode of Business Like a Mother.